What's going on, guys? VinVin520 here, bringing you another Gears of War Judgment commentary. This is a continuation of the commentary that I did from Monday, and that commentary was why can't people open up to new games? And I just had a few more things that I wanted to say about it, and touch up on a few things. So, what I wanted to know is, when was the last time you played a game and you felt so emotionally attached to a character that when the game series was over, you felt that you lost a part of yourself, kind of, like you lost a family member or something like that. For me, the last two games that, kind of had this happen were Gears of War 3 and Metal Gear Solid 4. So, in Gears of War 3, we all know that Dom dies, and sadly for me, that part of the storyline got ruined. So it wasn't really as emotionally crippling as I would have liked it to be, although if I had experienced it the way the developers had intended to, I might have had a different opinion. But regardless of the fact, Gears of War is a series that I've loved since when I was about, when the game came out, 2006, if I'm not mistaken. It was like November 6th or something like that, because that was the first day I got Xbox Live, like I mentioned in my my dual com with Chrome. But it's just something where, I've always loved to see the characters progress, and I've always loved to see the storyline. Even though the game didn't have the best storyline, it had characters that you ended up loving by the end of it. And as far as the Metal Gear games go, Metal Gear Solid 4, I mean, it's kind of like the game Uncharted. You pretty much play the game, but you play the game for 10 minutes, and then you watch the game for about 30 minutes, so it's like a movie with interactive parts or whatever. But the thing about Metal Gear is that it was able to, emotionally attach you to this character, Solid Snake, because you started out in Metal Gear 1 where, he's a young guy, he's fallen in love with Meryl and stuff like that, and then now we're at the end of the game where you see he's an old man. He's not helpless, but he's old, and he's kind of at the end of his strings. And so if you've played through the series, then, that makes you feel kind of upset, because this is a character I grew up with the character. I started playing Metal Gear when I was 10 years old, something like that. But when was the last time you played a storyline that was so good that it had you emotionally crippled, kind of? I know the Call of Duty storylines can't really do that. I mean, Modern Warfare 3 tried with Soap, but then even that is at the end of the game, it was still just 3 million explosions, and the bad guy got stopped. And that's the thing about the newer Call of Duty storylines. It just seems that most of them are the same exact story. It's the bad guy who seems to destroy the whole entire world in a matter of a day, and then you stop him at the end, and then there you go. That's the end of the game. And where's the emotional attachment? But mainly what I'm trying to get at is how storyboarding and story writing has kind of gotten lazy ever since multiplayer has, developed and become really big on Xbox Live. That doesn't mean every developer does this. I know Assassin's Creed, they did a very good job at, making their storyline and also implementing a multiplayer element. But the thing about the Assassin's Creed multiplayer is that the idea of it is cool, but it's very buggy, and as a solid experience, I don't know exactly how anybody would rate it. But for the most part, I think developers need to start getting more into their story writing and their storyboarding, because just having a great multiplayer experience does not make for a great game. A great game should have you play the storyline and then you want to play the multiplayer. You shouldn't want to play the multiplayer and I'll get to the storyline when I can get to it. So it's something that game developers kind of have to shine towards, and it's something that the gamers have to start accepting too, because most gamers are nowadays just in it only for the multiplayer aspects of the game. Just as a reference, I know Jive Turkey did a whole commentary on his channel about how the Call of Duty storylines don't matter to him, and he literally says that they're just there for the people that play storylines, and it should not be like that. That doesn't mean he's wrong. I mean, you buy the game for your own reasons, but I just want to know what happened to the gaming scene in general. Why has multiplayer become so much more important than having, you know, a storyline that can teach you something. You know, I don't know. It's just one of those things. But this is the end of the commentary, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to check out my other videos. I'm always posting stuff every day. I want you to definitely be active on my channel on Friday, because me and my friend Annoying Players are going to have a really special announcement, and I think it's going to be very interesting and very beneficial to a lot of the starting channels out there on YouTube. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary, and have a nice day. Peace.